He said, that Ollie's record, he ain't Evie's my brother, what's that about then? And I went, I don't know, I heard, it was about someone who had a disabled brother, and, he was lifting him in and out of a car or something, and someone said, oh, do you want a hand? And he went, no, it's not Heavy, he's my brother. I.e., this isn't a burden for me.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Carl, what did you say?
I'd say...
No, I'll tell you what he said. He went, that's ridiculous, he was still heavy. And he said, don't turn down help.
Which... We were talking about that, because a new feature we're starting about this time every week.
Oh, yeah.
We start about this time every week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do, that song's got a good story.
Okay.
Yeah, love it, snappy. Go on, go on.
There's loads of songs out there, isn't there, with songs that you couldn't fade out. When you hear them on the radio and that, you don't want anyone to talk over the start or the end.
Yeah.
Because
but remember we did this one before with, Killing a Georgie by, Rod Stewart?
Yeah.
And I was a bit worried that it might have been a true story, because we were, you know, joking about it. And, he went, oh, you know that Killing a Georgie? He went, I think it is a true story. I went, why? He went, I listened to it again, and Rod Stewart at the beginning says, this is one of my best friends. It's brilliant, isn't it? It's genius.
So there's loads of songs out there, and what I want to do, we want to get the audience involved in this, so if you've got, like, a favourite song that's got a really good
If you've got an audience. Yeah, go on.
And they email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk, and they say what the song is now.
What would examples be then?
Examples, ones that jump to mind straight away for me, Elvis, In the Ghetto.
Yeah, good one.
Brilliant.
Andrew Gold, Lonely Boy.
Absolutely.
Don't know that one.
Eminem, Stan.
Right, yeah. Good one. You couldn't fade it out, could you? Because you go, well, what happened?
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely.
And that's what I'm saying, not just any sort of pop song that keeps repeating itself, and, you know, it's like, it doesn't matter if it skips, or, you know what I mean, if you turn the radio off.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about
Ernie,
songs.
the fastest milkman in the world.
Yeah, that is a good story. That is a good story. Oh.
Yeah.
Do you know that one?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a story, yeah.
Ted from Teddington, he drove the baker's van.
Well,
So what have we got then? Have we got one?
so we're going to kick it off today with, Stevie Wonder, Living Just Enough for the City.
Okay.
And, just briefly.
Sum it up. Right, if you are nipping out, maybe you're in the car and you're about to pull up somewhere and get out, what it's all about is a lad who's growing up in, like, America in some rough area, right? And, he's trying his best to do well and get a job and everything, but because of where he's from, it's stopping him doing that, right? It's like how I grew up on an estate in Manchester. I had to leave there and come to London to do alright for myself, right? And it's his whole family, and it's a tale of, like, how his mum works dead hard and works loads of hours, but the kids are always well dressed and cleaned. It doesn't mean just because you haven't got a good job, you let your house run down. Do you know what I mean? She's looking after it. The sister, you know, she hasn't got new clothes, but they're always clean, and her knees are clean, I think it says in one point.
Good. Excellent. Clean knees, always important.
So will we give it a listen, let everyone
Brilliant,
hear
it's
it?
a
Well, I
great
don't
track.
think Stevie can do it justice. After that explanation.
Right, so...
I'm not sure he's
I
going
hope
to
he
top
uses,
that.
like, some sort of, like, backing tune to try and,
Try and pep it up a bit, 'cause
Yeah.
you have really knocked it the socks off it.
brilliant. I'm looking forward to the clean knees.
It's a new feature.
What is it called again?
The story in that song's really good. Here's Stevie Wonder. Songs with good stories that you can't fade out.
Yeah. Although you can heavily edit them for
Yeah,
them.
I noticed you didn't play the full version, which has
No, it's
obviously
regular.
got the complete story in. You've just played a,
I haven't heard the other, that's
single
all I
version
know.
then. Well, in the album version,
He gets
goes to jail.
abducted. He gets abducted as well, and he comes back with a big beard.
Yeah, and he's
No.
covered in hair. No,
No.
he gets arrested and goes to jail. But it's just, you know, it's just because he gets picked up because he's black and he hasn't done anything wrong. There's a whole other,
never
there's a whole
heard
other
that
sort
one.
of section.
Maybe we should change this section.
No, what we'll do, right?
Abridged versions of songs.
Yeah.
No, next week we'll play the second bit, and it'll be like Star Wars or something like that.
Oh, go on.
Remember last week we
Yeah.
started a new feature
Yeah.
called That Song's Got a Good Story in It. And
Brilliant. I love your catchy titles. They're excellent.
Right, and the idea was it was a story in a song, which meant that if it was played on the radio, you couldn't just, like, fade it out, because you've got to have the full story.
Yeah.
Right, well, last week we started the feature with Stevie Wonder, Living for the City,
Yeah.
right?
But you played the version where it fades out.
Yeah, I didn't know there was more to it, so Steve told me what album it was on.
Yeah.
I've gone and got it. We've got the second half to that story.
Yeah.
This week.
Yeah.
So, you've got half the story. What was it? What had happened is, like, the lad's living in Mississippi. There's not much going on there.
Mississippi. That's someone off Rainbow's mum.
Yeah.
Living, what, Mississippi?
Yeah. His man was a cleaner.
Yeah.
Trying to get by. They didn't have a great life, but they still looked after the kids and stuff. There's more to it than that.
Have you got it ready?
There's more to it than that! I should hope so!
We'll probably do it at about past.
So look forward to that, the second half of Stevie Wonder's Living for the City, a week later. I love a show that's carefully planned. So listen,
this isn't a show. This isn't a show. This isn't a radio show. This is.
I don't know what this is.
No, I don't know what it is. we just might as well start banging tambourines and it's ridiculous. This is rubbish, right? But wait, some people emailed in, put him in a wheelie bin, went to Blackpool, right? Some people emailed in the songs with stories in it. One of them was Babushka, and he went, "What's that?" And I went and asked Katie Bush, what is it? I said, oh, it's about a woman who dresses up as another woman and seduces her husband. He went, it wouldn't work. Just dismissed it like that. Why do you think it would work?
Because you'd know. I mean, say like, right, Suzanne, right, who I go out with, right? She can see me from, say if I'm coming down the high street, she knows it's me by the way I walk.
Right.
So, just the fact that this woman went and put a wig on, there is no...
You haven't even heard the song!
I know, but you're saying that she put a disguise on and he's like, oh, I fancy her, and he takes her out, and he doesn't know it's his missus.
You're not buying it.
I mean, I'm controlling this
Whereas the flea with your brain going to Glasgow, perfect sense.
So last week, you were playing your feature, that song I shouldn't switch off because I'm enjoying the story. And we played Living for the City, only you played the single mix, which doesn't have the entire second act, if you will. So, Karl, you've not heard it before.
You're excited. Before.
You're excited to hear the second act, because as far as you're aware, there was a young guy, he's living with his family, they're fairly impoverished in Mississippi, but, you know, they're happy, they're getting on alright. But you're not even aware that he's moving to the big city.
No, it just fades out.
Well, that's the city in question.
I mean, I've liked this song for, must be, you know, 3 or 4 years, and I've always listened to the single version. I had no idea that I didn't know the full story. So,
yeah. It's not, I mean, and I know your attention to detail, you like to know the full story, like, where everything was.
Well, the whole idea of the feature is to say, you know, you've got to listen to the song.
Where was the lead plate thing? Where was the lead plate thing? Where was the lead plate thing?
That was like a few years back.
Where was it?
In Britain and Scotland.
Yeah.
It was a problem all over the world. They had to deal with it.
You're making it up now.
Is it something you saw in Lord of the Rings?
Right. So anyway.
So the Lion and the Witch, go on.
Go on.
So far then, what did we learn in this story from
We learned so far from Stevie that there's a young lad, he's, as I say, he's got a family, he's fairly happy, except they're very poor, and they struggle to get by, but they're happy they're doing it. Anyway, he's moving to the big city. Karl, this is the bit you didn't realise. Just play the track.
Okay, here we go. So this is halfway through
This is halfway through the tune now. This is, you've not heard this before, have you?
Let's go.
Sorry, we accidentally played an episode of Kojak. By mistake. We were going to play a song.
Karl, what did you make of that then?
Yeah, what's happening there then?
Eh? He was living with his family, he was fairly impoverished.
He went
he's
on a
moved
bus,
to the new...
bus he was on, was it?
Right, so
what's your take on it, Karl?
After hearing that, what I've worked out by it, the first part that we heard last week, everything's alright, but it's not that great living in Mississippi, right? So he goes, oh, I'm gonna go to New York. There's plenty of work there.
Yeah.
They'll sort of accept me as, you know, and everything. So he goes there, and, the weird thing is, he's hardly, like, been in New York for a second. He gets on a bus, all of a sudden some copper's arresting him. He's like, what's going on? And then he's got 10 years. I mean, what you can't hear, because the levels are quite bad, I mean, I work with sound. I can't really hear what's going on.
You're criticising Stevie Wonder,
I'm sort of guessing that he didn't pay his bus fare or something. And,
10 years!
He got 10 years for that.
I really don't know what was going on.
Right.
Oh.
But you're not happy, because obviously it's quite
Do you think Stevie Wonder left out some vital ingredients in the story, in your education? Like where it was, or... at least he got where it was. You can tell what year it is, it's, right in the mid-70s there, that funky New York 70s sound.
Alright.
Yeah.
You're pretty disappointed, aren't you? You're pretty worried, because...
So what went on?
Yeah.
What
you know,
happened?
you're aware, Karl, because that shows quite a bad image of New York. It's quite an intolerant city. by all accounts there. He arrested a guy.
But it is quite
seemingly
bad,
for being black.
That's one song where you shouldn't go to New York. Killing a Georgie Rod Stewart. That lad, he was doing alright in Scotland and said, I'm gonna go to the big city. He got done in.
Yeah.
Seems to me it's that you don't go there if you've got, like, problems, don't think New York's the answer.
Right.
Oh, hold on, yeah. So what you're saying, that if you're a bit fed up with your life, but you live with your mum and she's, like, really nice and you got friends, and life's not that bad, don't go and be murdered, or what? What are you saying? Don't go and be murdered.
Well,
Don't go and... What? Go on.
Leave home, but don't go to New York.
Right.
There's other places.
Where would you go? Sheffield?
Well, don't know, but...
Yeah.
But
So-
you're a little mank lad, weren't you? You're in your garden, we had your train set, your brother blew up, there was a horse next door, and you thought, oh, I wanna go to London. So, do you know what I mean? You're like that.
Yeah, but...
You're in many ways like the fella in that song, and like Georgie.
No, because
in many ways you are a bit like Georgie, aren't you?
I had a car, so...
No, are you a little bit like Georgie in many ways?
I didn't get on a bus, I had a car. So, I wasn't gonna have the problem he had, for a start.
Right.
But, I mean, I suppose there's loads of things you can look at that story and take out of it. That's what I like about the feature, right? Keep him hooked, right?
Yeah.
We've still got a song with a story in it.
Yeah. You don't want to play Babushka, do you? He doesn't like the idea of Babushka. I told him that was a story.
Yeah.
And, he doesn't like it. A devil went down to Georgia, someone sent in. You know, he's looking for a soul to steal.
Yeah.
Doesn't like it. Why don't you like that?
Do you know the song?
Not particularly.
Right, it's a song about a lad who goes into a pub on a normal night, and
It's in, sort of the deep south of America, New Orleans, something like that. It's, you know, it's not the old Kent Road.
Right, okay.
Okay, go on.
goes into a pub, there's a devil in there, who's getting a bit cocky, he's had a bit to drink, and he's saying, do you wanna, sort of gamble your soul away with me, and we'll see who's best at playing the violin.
Yeah.
And, I think the lad wins in the end, but it's not real enough. Whereas the one...
Oh! What? Not like the Shadow that got fed up and started pushing kids off bikes?
Rick, I think you're
In
referring
Boston.
to stuff that no one made sense of last week.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think
Right,
we should refer to last
let's,
week.
let's...
We're on to another feature.
Oh, what is this?
This one is...
Rick, were you not at the planning meeting?
What is this? Go on.
This is, that song's got a good story in it.
Oh, is this that? Oh, God.
So tell us the rules.
Right, the rule is that it's songs that we play on the show every week, and there's a lot of music out that they just keep saying the same thing over and over.
What is it? What's
It's
the
a
song with the
song
story this
with a
week?
good story.
What's the song with the story this week? Just say it.
It's Gene Pitney, 24 Hours from Tulsa.
Oh, I'm really sorry about this. If you're an XFM listener, we gotta listen to this. Go on.
Well, do you know what it's about?
Yeah, isn't he trying to get back to his girlfriend?
Yeah, he's been working away. Lives in Tulsa. He works quite far away,
Right.
and he's
Would
coming
this
back.
save us having to listen to the song?
Well, it's always good to sort of
Hear
tell them what
the
it's
story before you hear the story.
It's like you know.
Sure.
You
I
read-
like this before a film. Yeah,
No,
go on, go on.
you might read the book before you see the film, type thing.
Yeah,
So
never in my case.
he's working miles away. His missus is in Tulsa. He's driving back, and he can't wait.
He's
to
only
see
about 24 hours away, and I remember.
He's about 24 hours away, and he's a little bit tired on the way home. He's thinking, oh, I don't want to look a mess for when me missus sees me. So he says, right, I'll stay at a motel, get some energy and that, you know, for when I see you, have a
Nutrigrain
shave.
bar.
So he pulls over at a motel, and he's locking his car up, getting his suitcase out the back. There's a woman in the car park. He's like, oh, she's alright. She looks at him, he thinks...
XFM 104.9.
I don't think the suitcase in the boot is mentioned in the song. I think that's maybe a 12-inch mix or something. I've not heard that.
Well, basically, right...
Oh,
so
no, I don't remember
I'll play the record, for Christ's sake! Let them listen to it!
I don't remember him saying, cool, she looks alright in the record.
Yeah, well done. Yeah. 24 Hours from Tulsa, Gene Pitney, song with a story.
You are quite upset by the lyrics of that song, aren't you?
I just think it's a bit annoying that, right, he loved this woman.
Yeah.
Everything's going fine. He's only 24 hours away from home. I don't know what sort of distance he's done. but he can't wait to get home. And all it took was some woman in the car park to sort of...
Give him the eye.
Give it an eye. And all the, like, the good times he's had with his missus go out the window. And, I don't know.
That's the dangers of falling in love with a prostitute.
Oh,
what I like about it, though, is the fact that he's writing this to his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's like, talking about rubbing it in.
Yeah.
I was kissing her and getting off with her, we were having a wild
Didn't
time.
take as
I
long
was
as
going
Carl did
mental on
explaining it, though. Yeah.
But did you hear the very end? Because he's the loser, because he said, and he can never go home again.
Yeah.
So even though he's got this new girlfriend and that, he can't see his old mates
He has
anymore.
falling in love with her.
Can't see his old mates anymore, he said! He can't see his old mates anymore!
Yeah. It's a sobering lesson.
I'll tell you a song,
next time you stop at the Granada services, on the way back from, you know, Swansea, be careful.
There was a song that's a bit like that by Jim Reeves, probably out about the same time, a little bit before, right? It was just called, just 100 miles from Mary Ann, right? And, it was him and his horse going through the snow, and he was just turning
He stopped at a little chef.
No, yeah, he fancied another donkey. No, but, it's really sad. It used to make me cry when I was little, because he got there, right, and he wouldn't leave old Ben, the horse, and he dies in the snow, and then so he dies in the snow.
He's gone again, you've gone again. I get the same way, teary-eyed, with, two little boys.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that.
Why not?
It's just...
Do you think I'd leave you dying when there's room on this horse for two? Climb up here, Jack, we'll soon be flying back to the ranks so blue. It was just like when they were playing with the little horse's head, when they were little, and he was a soldier and he helped him, and he returned the favour in a war, which to me is a bigger favour than just letting him have a go on a hobby horse, but, a lot braver, if you know. Yeah, last number one of the 60s as well. Christmas 1969.
And it's, of course, based on truth. That's a history lesson right there. It is based on fact. It's a famous person. I think it was Winston Churchill and Cromwell.
Yeah, it's Winston Churchill and Cromwell.
Cromwell and Winston Churchill.
Yeah, they were both lived ages ago, so they lived at the same time. Literally ages ago, so they lived at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, that's it then.
Is it?
Yeah.
Were you listening to anything we were saying then, Carl? Did you understand any of that me and Steve were just chatting about then?
that Rolf Harris, did a good song about someone who's got to carry on a horse.
Right, and what was about the stuff about Cromwell and Winston Churchill? What do you think that was about?
I missed that.
We're doing humour, we're doing a little bit of humour. It was a satire on you saying ages not being specific. Do you like that stuff we do?
Yeah. That's it then.
Like just a cat looking out a window at a dead mouse or something. You can go, come here! And it's just looking at the mouse it could eat. You wanna press the buttons and finish, don't you?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do, play a record or?
No, that's it, it's ads and that's it.
Okay. Great, goodbye.
What a wonderful ending. Anything lined up?
Yeah, we've got the song with a story in it.
Come on, Carl, let's do something. Quick, play a record.
Song with a story in it.
But never mind that, just, they're listening. We discussed this off air, come on. Play a record.
Right, it's Kinks. It's a song with a good story in it. You gotta listen to the words.
Carl, what was that? That was your little song with a story,
that's another little feature that we do every Saturday.
So make sure you tune in.
It's a song that's got a good story in it. There's a lot of music about these days.
What's that story about then? What's that story about?
You don't know what they're going on about. Whereas that, classic from the Kinks, called Lola.
Yeah, what's it about?
I'd listened to it for the first time properly this morning.
Yeah.
And what I've worked out from it is, there's a fella who goes out for a normal Saturday night out. He's in Soho.
Yeah.
He's having a Coca-Cola or whatever. And he sees this woman, and he thinks, yeah, she's alright.
Yeah.
Won't mind a bit of that. So he wanders over, and he sort of gets talking to her. He looks at her, and she's got a great figure, nice face and all that.
Lovely knob.
And she speaks, and he goes, oh God. Got a bit of a bloke's voice.
Yeah.
Got a bit of a voice like a bloke. But he thought, but, you know, that's her only down point.
Sure.
So he dances around with her, and I think he sits on his knee, I think he said.
Yeah.
Anyway, it turns out it's a fella.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
a sobering lesson.
Yeah.
What do you take from that?
Look, always sort of, if you think you might be talking to, a bloke in drag, just look at his sort of Adam's apple. And he'll probably have a hairier arse than a woman.
Yeah, I think you've gone too far then, though. I think you're already getting too close.
It's a bit late to pull out.
No, pun intended, definitely.
There was a pun intended.
Oh, was it? Alright, was it?
Yes.
Alright, okay, we don't be disgusting then.
No, you don't.
I do like a good track. I don't like everything that comes out and everyone raves about.
Yeah, you thought the iPod wasn't worth it because you named the 5 tracks you'd like. What was it? It was In the Ghetto, Babushka, Living in the City. What was the other one? Killing a Georgie, and there was one other one or something. And you just only like songs with a story.
Yeah, but then there's a reason to listen to it, isn't there?
Well, no, only
story
once.
going on. No, because you might forget the ending. Listen to it again.
Yeah, you might, yeah.
You've been listening to Babushka quite a lot, is that right? Because you've really got into your head now, you're trying to decipher the story.
When I've been sort of asking for songs with stories, people have texted in, emailed in and whatever, and I've had a couple, you know, last time we did the show. So I've gone, oh right, that sounds interesting. And Babushka, when I was away on holiday, I listened to it a few times because I liked the story. It's a good little story going on.
You got some thoughts on it though, have you?
Couple
of questions.
Will we have a listen to it?
Let's have a listen to the track, and then I know you've got some queries you'd like to raise.
It's just about a woman, innit, who I don't know, she's ugly or something, aged badly, and her husband gets bored with her. Have a listen, see what you think. Right.
XFM. You're listening to Magic 105.4. That was all the way back to 1979. Kate Bush, Babushka.
So, we would like your suggestions for songs which have stories in them, which may entertain Karl. They could shoot to the top of his list.
What do you think of that, Karl? That as a little story there.
I like it, but...
So she tests her husband. Yeah, she writes him letters. She gets a letter back. It's a pseudonym. Babushka's her pseudonym. It's not a real name. Her real name is Molly Strank. From Ealing, and he responds. He goes, "Oh, he's you know." So in real terms, he's having a bit of an illicit affair behind her back because he doesn't know it's his wife. So he goes, "Oh, well, I'll take this a bit further, see how far I go." He turns up. She turns up, he gets it on with her, and he's falling for her because she's acting like she used to act, you know.
So was he just playing along with it? Was he like,
No, it's not, because they'd have said that in the song. They don't leave it up to...
Some people do that, don't they?
Well, it wasn't. Kate Bush would have said, and by the way, he's playing along. She'd have given us a clue. He's not. He's fallen for it. She went along incognito. He thought it was another woman.
But how much work can you do to yourself to... Say if, like, I wrote a letter to Suzanne, right? Saying...
She'd know it was you. It'd have egg stains on it. It'd be spelt wrong.
No, but...
And you'd sign it Karl, crossed out Babushka.
I wrote to, I won't pick Babushka. I think that's a ridiculous name. That wouldn't have worked anyway. You just get a vision in your head of... I wouldn't have answered a letter from someone called Babushka.
It's not the point. If Kate Bush is listening, please call in, because I'd love her to have a conversation with you. I mean, that would be great. Forget Helmut. No, Helmut, you keep trying. A fat German. We want Kate Bush and a fat German.
What I mean is, though...
Now, wait a minute. What worries me is he didn't answer the last phone call. What if Kate Bush does for it? If anyone knows Kate Bush, give her a call now. She's probably not listening. She's probably doing yoga or something, I imagine, or making a lentil soup, or maybe just like repotting some plants, right? Or practicing piano, right? But if anyone knows Kate Bush, got a number, call her up now, say, tune into XFM, there's a little bald mank fella wants to talk to you about Babushka, right?
But how much...
But Helmut, don't worry, you'll get your chance. The phones are going. That could be Kate Bush.
Don't worry about it.
That could be Kate Bush.
I know for a fact it isn't.
Okay, answer it.
What about another feature we'd like doing?
What?
Song with a story.
Okay, he's been working on this, hasn't he? He's like a producer, isn't he?
Yeah.
But with a completely round head.
Just, you know, I was saying that, you were saying I don't like music, but I'm saying I do if I can hear what they're singing about. And there's a reason to sort of listen to it.
Have you turned into 50s dad? What is this?
No, but you know, it's like, it's nice to have a song where you go, you know, I can't turn it off because I need to know how it ends. You know what I mean? It's like a mini...
It's like a mini film. He can't sit through a film unless it's got a grotesque in it. He can watch The Elephant Man because he's getting a glimpse of this... He's waiting to see the bloke's face. That's all he's waiting for, right? And so 3 minutes is about as much as you can maintain his...
well, last week we did Babushka.
Yeah.
You know, that woman dressing up, sort of tricking her husband, and it sort of backfires and that. Don't know how it ended properly. I don't know if they split up or whatever. But this week...
There's no follow-up. Kate Bush isn't now penning the sequel. Right, go on then. So what's this week?
Pinball Wizard.
Right, okay, what's the story there?
It's about this sort of deaf, dumb, blind kid.
Right.
Who's good at pinball. That's it.
See, I don't believe he would be good at pinball.
But even if he is, it's a lot to give up, isn't it? Just for that.
Well, he didn't give it up.
No, but it's not like, well, you can't even say to him, oh, you know, a lot of bad news and that, but you're good at pinball. It's just a bit rubbish. I mean, does he even know he's playing pinball? Is what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? And it's not hard, it's just moving the thing, isn't it? Just hitting the buttons hard.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, if he was good at Pac-Man or something, you go, oh yeah. But...
It wouldn't scan, would it? Well, I mean, what were they thinking of? What were the Who thinking of when they wrote this?
Well, let's have a listen to it.
But, you see, now being
he's a Pac-Man wizard.
It kind of works.
Yeah.
He's deaf, dumb and blind, though.
Yeah.
That's pretty grim, isn't it?
It's rubbish, isn't it?
Well, Don't say that. Oh, that's alright, I can't hear you.
No, but it is like, it's just the worst, isn't it? I can't imagine what that would be like. It's pointless. Like being a tapeworm or something, isn't it? It's just... No, but what I'm saying is, what sort of a life is that? It's horrible.
It is a bit like being one of those creatures deep in the ocean.
Well, look, can I just answer your questions? It must be terrible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, job done.
But would you want a song about it, and, you know, he's good at pinball?
But it's not a real person. I mean, we were getting onto the realms of people with disabilities, but he is not a bloke that existed they sang a song about.
Well, listen to it. Anyway, let's...
Well, it's not a true story. I don't need to listen to it.
Let's have a listen.
Oh, okay. Pinball Wizard by The Who. A little song with a story there about a little deaf, dumb and blind kid. Thoughts, Carl?
I just, it's depressing, like I say. I don't know why... Is he enjoying playing the game?
I don't know, let's get Pete Townsend on the phone.
Carl, what are you talking about?
I'm just trying
Listen
to
to the lyrics, right? Deaf, dumb, blind kid. He can't hear, no bells and bells. He can't see any flashing lights. He plays by sense of smell. Now, I'm pretty sure that isn't a scientific document Pete Townsend is reading out there when he wrote this song. He's making it up.
But the thing is, with all songs or stories, there's got to be a little bit of realism to it. What, do you know what I mean? Why bother putting money in it? Just let him hit the buttons if he's happy.
That's true.
That's a fair point.
That is a fair point. That is a fair point.
Yeah.
That is great. Yeah, well, I think you've made Daltrey and Entwistle and the whole crew look fools.
Yeah, they won't get fooled again.
Yeah. Oh.
Nice.
We're supposed to... I mean, of all the thing... I mean, it is horrible. We're not, like, having a go. This is what I always worry about when we play. But at the end of the day, that's what he's singing about, so we're not having a go.
No. And it's not a real person. It doesn't really exist. I say again, it's a fictional person playing pinball and always getting a replay. Okay? This fella's saying that he's good at pinball, he's played from Surrey to Brotherhood, but this little deaf and blind kid, he can't believe it. He cannot believe it.
If you had to lose something, Steve, right?
He wouldn't need money.
That's true enough.
Your sight or your ears. What?
That's too much, I can't decide. That's too painful. Sight or your ears?
What about you?
Intuitively, it would be hearing, because I couldn't...
No, I think it's got to be sight for me.
Yeah.
Well, you're always together, so that's alright.
Anyway, listen, is it almost time?
Well, I've got to ask Carl. I'm sorry, I've got to ask Carl.
I'm sorry, go on.
Carl, what would you rather be, deaf or blind? When does this question ever really come up? When the doctor goes, well, listen, you've got to ask, well, we can either lose your eyes or your ears. It's up for you. This is never a decision that has to be made by anyone ever in life. But go on then, would you rather be blind or deaf?
It depends where you live.
I'm not even sure these are PC terms, blind and deaf anymore. Would you rather use your sense of sight or sight of hearing?
Depends where you live.
What do you mean it depends where you live?
Well, say if you lived in, like, a barren sort of, you know, Africa or whatever, right? Now to sea, right?
Sure.
So, you could lose your sight.
Sure. But if you lived in a woman's locker room...
Well, if you lived in...
quite noisy.
Yeah, it's quite noisy.
Stop banging that door.
Yeah, I'll have my sight, lose my hearing.
But if you live in, like, New York, low to sea, but a little bit noisy.
Sure.
So...
Perfect.
That is a brilliant answer. Unbelievable, once again. We've got a song with a story?
Yeah, doing that.
What is it?
I don't want to sort of tell you what it is yet, because the song isn't that great, do you know what I mean? It's not a song that's like an XFM song, but every time I hear it on, say, like, Magic or whatever,
Yeah.
I have an argument...
105.4.
Yeah, I have an argument with Suzanne that, you know, what I think it's about, and she says, don't be stupid, it's not about that, and I'll say, no, it is.
And so we're gonna decide who's right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what song you're talking about, and I don't know what the argument is, but Suzanne's right.
Definitely.
No doubt about it.
Well, I'll listen, but I'm hoping that once people sort of listen to it again with my thoughts every time
Well,
I hear
this
it,
song sums up what people should think of you. It's don't believe a word. Alright? That's the sort of links I'm capable of.
If that was a bag us of Sony, then nothing wrong. Carl, are we doing your, story with a song?
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Well,
Excited about it.
like what was it the other week? We did
Babushka.
Babushka.
Yeah. Pinball Wizard. You said if he's deaf, dumb and blind, he doesn't even know he's playing pinball, which is...
I just said don't bother putting money in it. That's all I'm saying. Let him play pinball, but don't waste 20p or whatever. Good point. This week, right, do you know I was saying...
It is a good point, actually.
It is a good point.
Again, though, it wasn't a documentary. It was just... It's not... Didn't really happen.
Yeah, well... Do you know I was saying sometimes I listen to song... I like a song to be obvious what it's saying. Pinball Wizard was a good story.
You need a song to be obvious.
In the ghetto, you know, it's a kid growing up and all that rough area, gets killed for nicking cars and messing with guns and that. Living in the city, growing up in New York, rough area, how you cope with it and that, right? But they've got to be as simple as that. Otherwise, I'm not that
I've
happy.
got a brand new combine harvester.
If-
Yeah,
It's
I'll
about
give you
like
the
machine.
key.
It's brand new.
Yeah.
It's brand new.
But even though it's new, he's willing to lend it out to other people.
No, but what I mean is, if you start trying to be clever,
Yeah.
the story's lost on you, innit?
Yeah.
not necessarily me or Rick, but yeah, sure.
Go on, we know what you mean. Go on.
On Primates, yeah.
Well, this song here, right, it's not an XFM song, and you'll probably hate the song, to be honest.
Go on, what is it?
What's the song?
Yeah.
It's Wonderful Tonight. Right? Eric Clapton.
Okay, it's alright. It's a
bit
it's
sort
a
of
sort of
nothing, innit?
bluesy sort of ballad from the late 70s. Yeah, it's alright.
But I'm always arguing with Suzanne, because every time I hear it, I'm getting different pictures in my head
Yeah.
of, like, what's going on, right?
Okay.
And I'm convinced it's about, like, this little cripple fella in a wheelchair, right? And he's knocking about with his wife. And
We
it's-
don't say cripple anymore, do we, Steve? Do we say cripple?
I don't think we've said that since,
70s?
I think it's the 70s when we stopped.
Alright, just a little fella in a wheelchair then.
Okay.
And the story, it's all sort of, you know, how he's being pushed about by his
Again,
wife.
that's not literally.
By his wife, she's wheeling him about. What do you
He's
mean?
wheeling him about, they go to a party, everyone sort of looks round and looks at him.
What makes you think that he's in a wheelchair? What's the clues? What's the words?
There's loads of little things. There's
on.
like, well, like I say, something about his wife walking around with me and all that. Well, of course she is. She's pushing him about.
But whoa, walking around. If someone said, "Oh, she was walking around with me," I'd think they were both walking round.
There's a few. There's a few.
But that's
different
not.
manners.
Well, there must be another. There must be a reason why you suddenly thought that fella's in a wheelchair.
Right. My wife's walking around
Put
with
on
me.
your makeup, and I feel alright.
No, and she's always saying, "Do you feel all right?" And that she's always asking him how he is.
Yeah, but she's.
Just listen. Let me play it, right? And try and picture the scene, right?
But now I'm only thinking of a little fella in a wheelchair.
Well, have a listen to it, and you know, just everything that's being said.
Okay.
Understand why I'm thinking what I'm thinking. That's what I'm picturing.
But that doesn't mean it happened. You picture people that are half man, half moth. It doesn't mean it's possible. Do you know what I mean, Carl? What you think is usually not true. Suzanne is totally right. There is no reason. I have never ever thought that Eric Clapton was singing about a little fella in a wheelchair. And the one clue in that, there's two, isn't there? Are you alright? Oh, let me say that, little cripple. Right, and, I'll give her the car keys. Oh, well, why's she driving? He ain't got any legs.
Pushing him around and that.
No, pushing him around.
So we'll do one more next week then. We've got a good song with a story later.
Go on, what we got?
Don't want to tell you yet.
Alright.
Now, is it as pitiful as last week's, where you somehow misheard that Eric Clapton song? What was the Eric Clapton song?
Well, Wonderful Tonight, and he was convinced it was about a bloke in a wheelchair for no reason. No evidence at all. Other than she's walking around with me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, walking around with me. No,
I
I
walk
mean,
into a room and everyone's head turns
Yeah.
to look at her, which you didn't seem to
Helps
hear.
him to bed.
because he's drunk. He's had a few.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, well, you're totally wrong.
So what do you want now?
Well, what about song with a story?
See with the, right. Well, last week.
Look at him, he's in a genuinely foul mood.
No,
now.
he's actually rocking.
Yeah.
He's actually rocking like Rain Man as well.
Last week we did, like you say, Eric Clapton. This is the section where we play a song with a story. I think every song, if it's a good song, it's got a story. You've got to listen to it, sort of, you know, from the start. You get in the middle, you're going, oh, how's it going to end, and all that. You wait another minute, you know the ending, you're happy.
But the thing is, as Steve said, you know, sometimes you're disappointed with it, so it's not a good story. And as Steve said, I'm not sure you're finding what you need in a song for a story. Why don't you read a book, a novel? If you want a really good story that engrosses you, and why don't you read a book? You're not going to get it from a pop
I haven't
song.
got time for a book. Song's 3.5 minutes.
And that's it, is it? And that satisfied you.
Well, yeah, it gets you thinking for a few minutes, then you move on.
Then you stop thinking.
2 minutes 50, this one, right? And it's brilliant.
Go on then.
It's about, last week we talked about the little crippled fella, right? This one...
as I say, I don't think we say cripple anymore, but go on.
Alright, this one, someone emailed in saying if you want a song about that, this is a song you ought to listen to, right?
Right.
It's about this fella who, basically something happened, I think he's in a wheelchair, right, for some reason.
You thought that last time.
His wife, you know, likes going out. She doesn't take him with her when she goes out.
Right.
Is it Ruby, Don't Take Your Love to Town?
Yeah.
Good, brilliant song.
We'll just play it then.
Yeah, great song.
Alright.
You've painted up your lips and rolled and curled your tinted hair. For God's sakes, turn around.
What do you mean?
Oh, it's just, it's a good story. It starts off well and that, you're feeling sorry for him, but then he says, where's my gun?
Yeah. Because she's a slut.
Why?
Because she's going off.
Yeah, but what does he expect her to do?
What? Just because he paralysed his legs fighting for his country, presumably in Vietnam War, says that crazy Asian war. So he's gone, he's fought for his country, he's taken a bullet, he's come home, he can't walk, he should be a hero, and then his wife's going out putting it about downtown.
Why do I never meet women like Ruby?